It's Friday, folks, which means it's time for three things to watch. We have to begin with our first thing to watch with the game of the week across the country, a top 5 matchup in Harrisonburg as number 2 James Madison hosts number 5 Villanova.
Yeah, this is a fantastic matchup between two of the top FCS teams in the nation, and there are plenty of storylines you could look at, but the thing I'll be watching is the play of the two quarterbacks, Daniel Smith of Villanova and Ben DiNucci of James Madison. JMU and Villanova are the top 2 offensive teams in the CAA, with both of them averaging around 40 points per game. They have balanced attack with a deep group of running backs and receivers, and they've gotten solid offensive line play. But the performance of the quarterbacks is the reason that these two teams have had success. Smith has been involved in 23 of Villanova's 32 touchdowns this season, throwing for 17 and running for 6. He's thrown for at least 3 TD passes in 5 of the Wildcat 6 games and has run for at least 1 score in 4 games. Now, DiNucci doesn't have the touchdown numbers, but he's completing 72% of his passes, has thrown for over 200 yards 4 times, and he's also run for 277 yards and has kept numerous drives alive with his feet, especially last week at Stony Brook. Now, both guys are excellent decision makers, but will be facing defenses that are among the best in FCS. The one who can avoid mistakes and deliver big plays will likely lead his team to a win on Saturday.
The second thing to watch for on Saturday will be on Long Island as New Hampshire takes their winning streak on the road against Stony Brook.
Yeah, the Stony Brook, New Hampshire game is a really intriguing one for me to see if the Wildcats can take the momentum from 3 straight home wins on the road against the Stony Brook team that has won 12 of its last 13 at Laval Stadium, but will need to bounce back from last week's heartbreaking loss to JMU. The matchup I'll be watching is New Hampshire's top-ranked defense against Stony Brook's high-powered offense. The Wildcats are giving up less than 17 points per game, which ranks number 1 in the CAA. Over the past 2 weeks, they've allowed just 250 yards per game, while forcing 7 turnovers and recording 11 sacks. In last Saturday's win over Elon, UNH's defense actually outscored the offense with a pair of pick sixes. Now they go up against the Stony Brook offense that's averaging over 30 points per game. The Seawolves feature a power rushing attack that generates better than 240 yards per game, and when defenses start loading the box to stop it, quarterback Tykel Fields has made a bunch of big downfield plays with his arm, averaging nearly 20 yards per completion. Now both of these teams are playoff contenders, and the result of this game could loom large down the road.
The third thing to watch for will be the teams coming off a recent bye or looking to bounce back after sitting on a loss the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, 3 of the CAA's 6 nationally ranked teams, Delaware, Maine, and Towson, both returned to action on Saturday after bye weeks, and I'll be watching to see how sharp they are. Bye weeks in midseason are usually a welcome break, allowing players to heal up for the final stretch of the regular season. But teams coming out of bye weeks sometimes struggle to regain momentum and rhythm, especially on offense. In addition, all 3 of these teams, as you said, suffered a loss heading into the bye, even though 2 of them were against Power 5 opponents. Delaware hits the road to Elon while Maine hosts Richmond and Towson entertains UAlbany. In a league as competitive as the CAA, all 3 teams better be able to hit the ground running and be ready to play.
Those were Rob's 3 things to watch. Make sure to stay with CAFootball.com and CA Football's social media outlets throughout the weekend for the latest.